Hello friends, welcome to KT Research Guidance Bureau. Myself, Dr. Kumudini R. Thakur, would like to say few words for the Bureau. This Bureau is purely educational Bureau and provides enough guidance and material to undergraduate, postgraduate students and those who are interested to do their research work. This bureau gives the complete idea about research work, not only research methodology, but how to select the subject, how to prepare the proposal, as well as how to prepare a research report. This guideline will also provide this bureau. And those who are interested to build up their career and wants to clear NET, SLAT or any other competitive exam, this bureau gives detailed idea about various subjects. So my humble request to you that please subscribe the bureau, give your comments and favor for the bureau. Today, I will give you the brief idea about liquidation of company. This session is the beginning session of liquidation. So, it gives you the idea about fundamental basics of liquidation, and later on we will try to understand liquidation of company with various examples, and mainly they are based on multiple choice questions. So first, let's clear basics of liquidation. So what comes in your mind? What is liquidation? And first of all, you have to learn the basics of the topic. Then only you can understand it. So liquidation in finance and economics is the process of bringing a business to an end and distributing its assets to claimants. Means a business may run for 100 years, but one day it may not be able to conduct the business. That time they have to wind up the business. So liquidation is a process for what? Bringing a business to an end. And when you decided to end the business, that time you have to sell the properties and assets of the company, and you have to pay the amount to your creditors as well as your main persons, means your shareholders. In another way, we can say that generally when the company has more liabilities, that time the company is unable to pay its obligations. So it declared as insolvent. So it is an event that usually occurs when a company is insolvent. Insolvent means company's liabilities are more compared to the assets and is unable to pay its obligations. In liquidation, operates ends means they stop their activities. The remaining assets are used to pay creditors and shareholders based on priority of their claims. So when company decided to close the business, that time they have several types of creditors and shareholders. Then whom to pay first? There is a schedule, and every liquidator has to follow that schedule that we are going to learn in later on. Now, another question comes in your mind, that is why company generally goes into liquidations. There are several reasons. Some of the main reasons are: first, company sells the business to another company. When the company sells the business to another company, means suppose a company purchased the business of company B, that time automatically B has to go into liquidation. Another circumstances is when the article of association specifies the time period for the company. You know, article of association. And in that article of association, they specify the time period. Suppose it is 10 years. So at the end of 10th year, they have to close the business. That is also another reason. And when companies' objectives for establishments are fulfilled, that time also they decide for liquidation. Means suppose company has only one objective and the objective already achieved, means company got the contract for a bridge, construction of a bridge, and the work is completed, then they have to decide this way. And when the financial position of the company has deteriorated to such an extent that it is not possible to continue the business, means since last several years company was getting loss and the loss is too high, and in near future there is no hope for the profit, and it is not possible to continue the business without making a loss. That time also they take this decision. Now, modes of winding up as per section 207 of Companies Act 2013. And keep in mind, we have to evaluate and understand everything as per Companies Act 2013, that you have to keep in mind. Generally, there are two modes. One is by the tribunal and another one is voluntary liquidation. Both we are going to learn separately. So, generally, there are two modes. One is by tribunal and another one is voluntary liquidation. Now, first of all, let's try to understand circumstances and mode of voluntary winding up as per 271 Companies Act 13. First of all, special resolution. Many times CEO and other members, they pass the special resolution for winding up, and the resolution passed by majority. Then they take this decision. Another one is default in delivering the statutory report to the registrar. It is compulsory to submit the report to the registrar, and if the authority is unable to submit it, then they have to take this decision. Another reason is unable to commence its business within a year from its incorporation. You know what is incorporation. And after the date of incorporation, company is unable to start the business within a year. That is also one of the reasons. And you know, the members of public limited company and private limited company. In case of public limited company, 7 members are mandatory. and for private company it is 2. And if the member of the company reduced by this stipulated figure, then they have to wind up the business. And unable to pay its debt, that I explain you in detail, and unable to file its financial statement with the registrar for immediately preceding 5 consecutive years. So if the company is unable to submit the report to the registrar for 5 consecutive years, that time also this position arises. Now, circumstances and mode of voluntary winding up. First is the period has been fixed for the duration of the company. So at the time of establishment, they fix the duration and the duration overs. So they have to do. Second thing is the article provide the liberty to the company dissolve. Articles provides the liberty and as per that article that can take the decision. This is also one of the main thing. And another one is passes a special resolution for voluntary winding up. So everything directly or indirectly I explain you. So no need to explain it again. Now, obviously, when company decides for liquidation, they have to appoint a person who carries all these activities and he is known as a liquidator. So, liquidator sells the asset of the company and pays the liabilities of the company. And as soon as the entire work finished and his post is also abolished. But main duties of the liquidator, first of all, to dispose the assets of the company and realize cash. Now company is not going to continue the business. So obviously liquidator sells the asset of the company and converts into cash. This is the first responsibility. Second one is to pay liabilities of the company in order of their priority rights. This is the main thing. Otherwise, all will quarrel and emphasize that give me my amount first of all. So there is a priority list, and as per that priority list, he has to pay the amount that we are going to learn. Another one is the surplus, if any, to be returned to the members priorita, means liquidator pays outsider's liability and afterwards if he has some amount, that amount he has to return to the members as per the ratio or pro rata, and to prepare accounts of the winding up and submit to contributor and creditor. He has to prepare books of accounts for winding up of the business and he has to submit it. These are the main liabilities or you can say duties of liquidator. Now, let's try to understand disbursement by liquidator. So, first of all, fully secured creditors. You learn financial reports of the company. In that one, you learn secured liabilities. Means when you created the liability, that time in against of that liability, you hypothecated some of the asset to that creditors. They are known as fully secured creditors. Now, the creditor to whom specific assets are pledged, whose realized value is equal to or more than the amount of debt. Means suppose you hypothecated land and building and created the liabilities for 10 crores. So the value of this land and building is equal to 10 crore or more than that one. That is known as fully secured creditors. And payment to workers, any companies payable under industrial dispute, holiday remuneration, PF, pension, gratuity. So second one is liquidation expenses and remuneration. So liquidation expenses and remuneration he has to consider amount payable to government, salary, compensation, etc. Next one is creditors having floating charges. Unsecured creditors comes, then preference shareholders comes, and lastly if some amount is left they will pay to equity shareholders. Now receipt of liquidator. First is amount realized from sales of asset. He sells the asset and realized the amount, that amount. Next is amount of compensation recovered from officers of company for breach of duty. Then surplus received from fully secured creditors and amount of calls. Generally, these are the receipt of liquidator. Now, let's try to understand liquidation of a company with multiple choice question. First is the liquidator has cash balance of rupees 73,440. 2% remuneration is payable on the amount paid to unsecured creditors. How much remuneration he is entitled to get? See, this is the first question. So keep in mind how much rupees cash is left in the hands of liquidator 73,440 and he is entitled to get 2% remuneration. Only this is a question of arithmetic and it is easy. Even though I will give you the idea, unsecured creditors suppose 100 and liquidators commission is 2. So 102. 102 then 73,440 how much he will get? So he will get 1,440. Check in ABCD. It is in C rupees 1,440. So the right answer is C. This way you have to find out. Another question is also very easy and in the connection of the first one. The liquidator has cash balance of 73,440 and he is entitled to get 2% commission payable to unsecured creditors. How much would be given to unsecured creditors? Example is same, but the question is different. So the logic you know 100 plus 2 means 102. Then how much? 400. It is easy. 102 and how much? 400. So your payment to unsecured creditors is 72,000. Check in ABCD. It is also by chance in C. So your answer is C rupees 72,000. Now keep in mind Many times in exam, they will ask interconnected questions. That time, rebrush your memory and don't calculate it again so that speedily you can reply. Next one is at the time of liquidation of a company, unsecured creditors were 92,400. The liquidator has only balance of 76,500. Liquidator is entitled to get 2% remuneration. And what you have to calculate the amount paid to unsecured creditors. Only the figures are different. So directly I gave you the answer so that we can save our time because logic is easy. 102 equal to 76,500, then how much for 100? Your answer is B, 75,000. This way quickly try to solve the questions. Fourth one is interconnected with the third one. First half is same, but what you have to find out liquidator's remuneration. How to calculate it? That I already explained you. 100 plus 2 equal to 102. Then how much for this amount that you have to find out and tell me your answer quickly. Your answer is 1500. Check in ABCD. It is in D. So your right answer is D, 1500. Next one is easy but example is long. ABC Limited went into voluntary liquidation on September 1st, 2021. The balance is on that date first total creditors 1,35,000. Creditors include preferential creditors 5,000. Investment where mortgage with creditors the amount is 65,000 but that asset realized 71,000. Creditors 25,000 and liquidator paid 3% less to that creditors. And another creditor having 10,000 and liquidator paid 35% less. And remaining amount creditors were paid fully. Find out the value of remaining creditors. In this case, how to do it? See, total how many creditors are there? 3 lakh, 1 lakh 35,000. Among them, 5,000 is preferential. So remaining amount is 1 lakh 30,000. Out of 1,35,000, your mortgage property creditors, they are 65,000. So deduct 65,000. So again, remaining creditors, they are unsecured creditors 65,000. 25,000 creditors, you pay less 3%. So 97% you pay. Find out the amount. And 10,000 rupees creditors, you paid 35% less. So find out that amount also. So easily you can find out the answer for the question. Okay. I will give you the complete answer. First amount payable is 1,35,000. minus preferential creditors 5,000. So remaining 1,30,000 and secured creditors 65,000. So unsecured creditors also 65,000 and creditors 25,000. You paid 3% less, means how many rupees less? 750. So how many rupees you paid? 24,250. To whom? 25,000 creditors. And 10,000 creditors, you paid 35,000 less. So how many rupees less you paid? 3,500 and paid amount is 6,500. Now, what you want to find out? Remaining creditors. So how to find it? 65,000 minus 25,000 minus 10,000. See, generally, students are in a dilemma. Why we have to write 25,000? Actually, we paid 24,250, but the original amount of the creditor is 25,000. So you have to deduct the original amount. So that unsecured 65 minus 25 minus 10,000 equal to 30,000. And your answer is in which option? A. A 30,000. So your answer is for this question is A, rupees 30,000. So keep in mind this basic calculation. Why? Because the another question having the same figure, but only you have to find out the value of total creditors. So keep in mind all these figures. So you can reply very easily. Okay. ABC Limited went into voluntary liquidation. Figures are same. Total creditors 1,35,000, preferential creditors 5,000, then mortgage creditors 65,000, which realized 71,000. Creditors having 25,000, you paid less 3%, and for 10,000 creditors, you paid 35% less. So the basic question is same, and only the last line find out the value of total creditors, that is only different. So calculation will be same, only the final calculation will be different. So this you know, up to this you know 30,000. Now total creditors 24,250, 6,500, 30,000. So your right answer is 60,750. That is in C. 60,750. Next one is ABC Limited went into liquidation, and the balance sheet gives you some information. 1,000 equity shares, rupees 100 each. 80 paid, obviously it is 80,000. 700 equity shares, rupees 100 each. 60 paid, 42,000. 800 equity shares, rupees 100 each. 40 paid, 32,000. Total receipt 1,91,500 and total payment 2 lakh. What you have to find out? Total deficit amount. So total deficit amount, it is easy to find out. Your total receipt is 1,91,500. and payment is 2 lakh. So obviously find out the difference. That is your deficit. Total receipt minus total payment. That is known as deficit. That is 8,500. Now, your total payable amount 80,000, 42,000, 32,000 plus this deficit. See, don't consider that total amount. Equity share paid only 60, 40 and 80. So that amount you have to consider. Generally up to this students are wrong. Right, sorry. But only they forget to add this deficit. So generally their answer comes wrong. That is total deficit is 1,62,500. Check your alternative. It is in C. So your answer is C, 1,62,500. Let's try to understand the same example but in a different manner. In that you have to find out proportion of deficit to equity shareholders. So try to remember previous example so that you can easily calculate the next figure. Example is same, but you have to find out the proportion of deficit to equity shareholders. So no need to give you the idea about calculation. You know, total receipt 1,91,500 and total payment 2 lakh. So your deficit is 8,500 and total payable amount 80,000, 42,000, 32,000 plus 8,500. So you know the total that comes 1,62,500. In this case, the main thing what you have to remember, face value is same. So the ratio depends on number of shares. Okay. 8,500 total payable amount 1,62,500 and face value is same. So the ratio will be depends on number of shares. Number of shares 700 means 1,000, 700, 800. So proportion is 10 is to 7 is to 8. Check in which alternative it is available. It is in D. 10 is to 7 is to 8. In next session, I will give you detailed idea about liquidation of a company. I hope you enjoyed the session. And again, I would like to request, please subscribe the channel because many of the students, they follow the channel but till date they have not subscribed. So motivate me also. Subscribe the channel, give your comments and don't forget to give thumbs up. Thank you very much. So nice of you.